another thing too. Sometimes you'll talk about soup beans to people who are not from here, and they'll say, "Do you mean bean soup?" And we're like, "No, we mean soup beans." It's a totally different thing. People either really love soup beans because it reminds them of growing up, it reminds them of their mama, it reminds them of when they were kids, or they really hate soup beans because it reminds them of the time when they were really growing up in the crisis of poverty, and that's all that they could afford. Liquid is like the important part, right? And I wish that I had made a big component of cornbread, because what's really good is from cornbread in this, right? And soup beans are so good days after you make them. They just keep getting bigger. That hot liquor just keeps getting better and better, that broth in it, right? So the reason that this looks like it does is because there was an entire ham hock that was, I'm not lying, it was this. I don't think that vegan food should pretend to be meat, personally. I think you should just make something good that doesn't have meat in it, right? But there are some things that you want to do, I guess, to kind of get that balanced flavor. Try to cook beans or almost anything vegetarian. One is that I used, in the traditional soup beans, I just had garlic and onion, right? And I just sauteed that, salt and pepper, and then that ham hock, and that's all that's in here, right? There's no other seasoning in this. For these beans, which are vegan, I used a green pepper as well, and onion and garlic, and I really cooked that for a while. I won't say I cooked it long enough to caramelize it, but I cooked it a long time to get a little bit of browning and some flavor on it. And then from cheese and from mushrooms, sometimes that kind of meaty flavor. And there are three things that you can use, and I used all three of them. One is anything smoked, like this is a smoked paprika. This is nutritional yeast, which you guys may or may not have had. You can see it, it's sort of a flake, and this is grown actually on top of molasses, right? It's like a mold, I think, actually. Is that right? Anybody want to challenge me on that? Then just believe me, it's a mold that grows on top of, but it's full of B vitamins, and it's really, just gives kind of a meaty flavor. I love to use this also with anything that you would cook with a ham hock, like greens or green beans, anything like that that you typically would. I love to sprinkle, and I love meat, I eat meat, but I love nutritional yeast. And then this is Marmite, which is really popular in Australia, and a lot of people think it's disgusting, and I love it. It's like just this salty, meaty thing, right? And it's also full of B vitamins. And so I put a couple of spoonfuls of nutritional yeast and a couple of spoonfuls of Marmite and some paprika in, just to round this flavor out. So even if you're eating one with meat, will you taste this? I just want to see, and like I said, I'm not trying to make it taste like it has meat in it. I just want it to taste good, right? So I'm going to bring some of these around.